Last week, I released a video about how to crush the next 6 months. This was a mindset goal-setting video, and it got a tremendous amount of great response. I got a lot of direct messages through social media from people, and they were asking for clarity, and they were asking me what I'm going to do for the next 6 months. My mindset stuff, you pretty much know that. If you've seen any of my videos, you know how my mindset works. But a lot of people were asking me about my business plans for the next 6 months. Coinciding with that, I was talking about the next 6 months with my collaborative masterminds. These are people who are in my masterminds, and we meet once a week to work on goals and to build businesses and increase profit. And they were talking to me about my plans for the next 6 months. I presented what you're going to see today. And one of the very common things that people said was, more people need to see this. You should bring this to a larger audience. And so, all right, that's what we're going to do here today. It's going to take us a couple of minutes. I'm going to talk to you about what the last 6 months were like, what the next 6 months are going to be like, what's in place, and where my business is going, with the hope that you'll be able to take this and apply a lot of these lessons to your business as well. This is what we do inside the Mastermind. By the way, if you're a solopreneur or you're a small business owner and you're looking to ascend to the next level, you've already got a business and you just want to grow and you want to hang out with a bunch of really cool people who are all doing the same thing, that's what this link, I'll put a link on the screen. That's what that link is for. It's collab.prouty.me. Prouty's my last name if this is your first time here. And you can go to collab.prouty.me, and if we're open, if we have seats open, great. If not, there'll be a waiting list for you. And I would love to invite you to be a part of this awesome mastermind. So many cool people that get together every week, and everybody's growing. And it's amazing to see. In fact, I was talking to one of the mastermind members today, and her business has grown dramatically just in the past maybe 6 months or so. The amount of profit that she's making and the impact that she's having on her market just blew my mind. Anyway, if you want to check that out, just go to collab.prouty.me. So let's talk about the plan for the next 6 months. So the first section here is what we got done in the last 6 months. And the primary focus was on first principles and building blocks in the first 6 months of this calendar year, which is how I'm basing this. It's now, as I record this, it's early July. So in the first 6 months of this year, I was really looking at the first principles of the business, of every aspect of the business as it relates to delivery to the clients. So my business is broken down into 3 big sections. I'll show you those a little bit later on. And I was looking at each of those, trying to figure out what works best, what gets people the biggest impact, what helps them grow their businesses the most. And I also conducted some surveys, not only of current clients, but of past clients, of which there have been thousands of people who have paid me to help them grow their businesses. Like, these are people who just want to have an impact on those they serve, and they want to profit more in doing so, and they want to have fun too. So I surveyed a whole bunch of people to get some insight into what those building blocks are. So I broke everything down into the smallest pieces, and I started to strip away the stuff that was unnecessary. I think nowadays, especially when it comes to marketing businesses, there is a lot of fluff. There's a lot of noise, and it can get very chaotic. And one of the things I hear from people when they get on calls with me is that there's so much noise and so much confusion and so much static and so much information in the market that they're paralyzed and they don't know where to start. Or worse, they start something, but they don't give it enough time, and then they move on to something else. And they start that, and they don't give it enough time, and they move on to something else. And then they get into this spiral where it seems like nothing's working. You might know what that feels like when you just keep trying things, but nothing works. It's not because nothing works, it's because it hasn't worked for you yet. And you've got to understand how to troubleshoot and how to get things to work for you, because just about everything will work. I could go and stand on a street corner and talk to random people walking by. I'll get a client from that. Everything works if you give it enough time and you troubleshoot. So that's what I did, is I started to break things into pieces and strip things away that weren't absolutely essential. In doing that, I was able to simplify everything, including the coffee that I drink, which is so good. Special thanks to one of my clients who sends me that copy. So everything got simplified, and that made everything better. And I also surveyed just north of 2,000 people, asking them some very simple questions about what they were looking for in their businesses. And I reshaped the delivery of my three core services. So do let me know, chat with me underneath this video if you can hear the kids. It's summertime and the kids are on summer break and they are just going wild out there. I think I can hear them and I can hear the dog at the same time. I would edit it out of this video, but I think a lot of people like to hear my kids screaming in the background for some reason. At least that's what they tell me. So here's what we know is true. And I've been saying this for a long time, and I say this to the people I serve, and I'll say it to you right now. Your potential clients exist right now. They are, this is really the simplification of everything. The people that you want as clients, your prospects, they exist right now. They are out there. They are living their lives. They have a problem that you can solve. They don't have to be born unless you're a doctor that births babies, whatever kind of doctor that is. But your clients don't have to be born. They exist right now. They have the problem that you solve, or they're going to have the problem you solve. So they are problem aware and solution seeking, or at a minimum, they're problem aware. That's your perfect prospect, right? That's your perfect client. The people who are problem aware and solution seeking. You're the solution. The problem is, if they can't find you, if they don't know that you're the solution, then you can't get any business. So if you can solve their problem and they'll pay you for it, that's where you profit. But you've got to be able to solve their problem and they've got to know that you can provide that solution. And then we also know this, if you focus on delivery and you get them the greatest results possible, that's the impact that you have on your market. So having a focus on your delivery and focus on giving people the best possible result, that's the impact that you have. I often say when it comes to my services, I don't just care about my clients, I care about their clients as well. So when I meet with my masterminds, I'm always asking them about their clients to make sure that they're getting a great impact from the people I serve. That's the ripple effect of what we do. And then we also know this, business should be fun. Look, you started your business, if you're watching this and you're a solopreneur, an entrepreneur, a mompreneur, a dadpreneur, whatever you are. You started your business because you wanted to help people and you wanted to make money doing it, and that should be fun. We took a lot of risk in starting our businesses. We deserve a lot of reward. And that reward comes in terms of profit and impact, but it also comes in the form of fun. We should have fun while we're doing this. And I think when I talk to a lot of entrepreneurs, they are not having the kind of fun that they wish they could have, and that maybe you thought you were going to have when you started your business. And maybe you wake up in the middle of the night thinking about this, or you look at yourself in the mirror and you ask yourself, is this all there is? I put in all of this work. Is this really all I'm going to get from this? And it's not. There's a whole lot more available to you. In fact, you have limitless potential. It's just exercising that potential and getting it out as simply as possible. So one of the things that I'm doing for the rest of this year and for the next 6 months at least is just simplifying everything to be able to tap into that potential and then showing the people I serve how to do that. So here's what we found. Everything improves when there's community in the programs that I offer. When I started bringing people together, that's where everything improved. In one of my masterminds, we meet live and in person. And the last time we met live and in person was late last year. And when we got together, we got this group of people together. The magic that came out of community, you couldn't even describe it. You could feel it, but it was indescribable how impactful it was. And in fact, even though that was 6 months ago, I still get people reaching out to me saying that was game changer. That was a game changer for me. In fact, one person said, I wish I had learned what I learned there earlier in life. That's how big this community is. So everything gets better when there's community. So we explored how do we bring more community into everything we do? Because it's not possible to bring thousands of people together, but it is possible to build community for the thousands of people so that they can have access to each other and then the core inside the mastermind, how do we give them a private place where they can collaborate, which is the next point. Communities thrive when there's collaboration. And so when you bring people together in person, there's high levels of collaboration, but you can also create that level of collaboration in an online space. So we created that as well. And then we also found that the more simple and straightforward the approach, the better. I have a lot of people coming to me who were victims of, you know this phrase, the shiny object syndrome. I have a lot of people that come to me and say that that's been their experience, and they're always moving from one thing to another to another. And one of the things that we try to break inside my mastermind is, let's just make things really simple. Let's make things straightforward, step-by-step plans. Let's show you exactly where to start every single day with every single effort so that you never have to guess or feel intimidated on where to start. And let's just nullify that shiny object syndrome. Let's get ready to put our heads down, focus, discipline, driven, and get to work on the stuff that we know is going to work. And it's a whole lot simpler than you think, and you will be surprised to find out what happens when you strip away the complexity, how much better things get. And that's what we've done. And then finally, what we found is when you bring people together, the total becomes greater than the sum. And what that means is there's this energy that happens when you bring people together. I'm not seeing it anywhere else, even in online communities. And it's one of the reasons that I've organized what I've organized in the way that I have, is to create that synergy and that alchemy where the total is bigger than the parts. And we've done that at all levels. I'll show you the 3 levels in just a moment. Been able to do that at all 3 levels. So through surveys and through exploration, here's what we found solopreneurs and small business owners want. They want to make more profit over just making more money. There's a big difference between making money and making profit. And you have to be kind of careful when you look at people who are showcasing how much money they make in their businesses. The question really should be, how much profit are you making? Because profit is what you get to keep. Money is what comes in. But if you're making $100,000, but you're spending $70,000 to make that, your profit isn't necessarily where it should be. And while it sounds good to say I've made $100,000, when you had to spend $70,000 to make it, well, your profit just isn't really where it should be. Your profit should be a whole lot more than that. So we found that entrepreneurs, business owners, solopreneurs, they want more profit versus just making more money. So we found some ways to do that, pretty cool ways. They want to expand their impact on their clients. I discovered how to do this completely kind of randomly and by accident several years ago, maybe now 5 years ago. I was working with some clients and I found some strategies that had worked well for me. I didn't really even think they would work well for anybody else, but we tested them with some clients, some big clients and some solopreneurs. Everybody started to have the same results. The impact they were getting on their clients was so much better. Their clients were having such a better experience, which, what did that do? That drove their profits. So I've taken that and systemized it. That has become part of my programs as well. And I've also found through surveying that business owners, solopreneurs, want more happiness in their business. They want more confidence in what they're doing. They want to feel more fulfilled. And ultimately, they want to feel more balanced in their business. Now, this isn't work-life balance because that doesn't really exist. What we're looking for is work-life integration that feels balanced so that you are inspired to be doing whatever you're doing. So we help them find that. So we found out that that's what they want. We started to integrate that into the programs. The other thing that we found, especially over the last 12 months, but in particular the last 6 months, is that the people that I'm serving and the people I've surveyed, they want a better understanding of how they can use neuroscience to achieve more. If you've been watching my videos for a while, you know that I talk about that. I talk about the triune brain, but I also talk about different parts of the brain, I talk about the limbic system and the neocortex. I talk about the basal ganglia, and I talk about parts of the brain that you can program to achieve more. And there's actually some very specific parts of the brain that we focus on. This isn't going to be a talk on neuroscience, so I'll keep this really simple. But there are certain parts of the brain that you can very easily program that will help you achieve more. And everyone that I teach this to says, show me more of this. So I do. And that has helped them quite a bit. And then we've also worked on how to increase performance, how to have more discipline, focus, and drive. Very specifically left off the word motivation there because we don't work on motivation. Motivation will only get you so far and then it falls away. When you need motivation to do something, that means you're looking for an external force to get you to do something. I look to help people have the internal force to drive them forward to do it. And we found out that that's what they want, so I found a way to give it to them. So here's what I created, and this is all actually really cool at how it's working. It's working very well for the people that have come on board. Forced Acceleration is the entry point. It is my mastermind for anybody who has a business, solopreneur, entrepreneur. You have to have a business to come into this. You can't come into this trying to guess what you're going to do. You'll be a little bit bored in here because this is for people that already have established businesses. They made a little bit of money, but they want to make more. So I created Forced Acceleration. I've been doing that for about 1.5 years now and really brought that to a place where it's functioning really, really well just in the last 6 months. So that's a collaborative mastermind for solopreneurs who want to increase their profit. They want to have more impact and they want to have fun with a group of people who are looking to do the same thing. The goal there is to get people to a certain dollar amount per month. I don't want this to seem like there are any income claims, so I'll keep that quiet, but there's a certain dollar amount we want to get people to. It's not a trivial dollar amount. And we want to get them there so that they can have that profit, have that impact, and have some fun. Because when you're having impact and you're making money, fun is a natural byproduct of that. So then the second thing created was Radius of Impact. Now this is a small private invitation-only mastermind. It's almost secretive who's in here, but these are high-performing business owners who just want to ascend to the next level of growth. And the people who have been in here have done very well. I don't want to say that we've gotten them to 7 figures because I don't want this to sound like an income claim, but we've helped them do very well. So Radius of Impact is the next generation of what that was, and we have people in there who are just having such a great time. It's very, very different, the things that we do in there versus Forced Acceleration. This is really helping people fine-tune every aspect of their life to hit that next level of success in their business. And then I've always had private clients, and so we're maintaining the one-on-one advisory. That's a very special person to be a private client, but that is someone who I work with one-on-one. I cap all of these services to a certain amount. Forced Acceleration is capped so that we don't get too many people in there. We can get the right people in there. Radius of Impact is capped because I get to pick and choose who gets to come in. And so I can cap that at a certain amount as well. And then I can only take on a certain number of private clients just based on time alone. So every level is capped. That keeps things from getting out of hand. And then at each level, we are focusing on brevity, simplicity, asymmetric benefit, which means work a little bit to get a ton of result, and predictable return on investment. Because I want people to know when they spend money that they're going to make a certain amount of money back into their business. That predictability is what gives us confidence and fulfillment and balance in our businesses. So then that brings me to how I'm going to bring this more and more to the market. First, of course, is organic social. That's what I teach in all of my videos, especially on my YouTube channel. I'm going to use core social media channels and feeder channels to bring people to the core to promote through educating, kind of like what I'm doing right now. And by the way, if any of this sounds intriguing to you, just go to collab.prouty.me and you can check out what it's like to be a part of these masterminds. I'm not going to force you into anything. In fact, I'm not even going to try to sell it to you. You'll know if it's right for you. And that's one of the things that I teach is we want to get people on calls who know the product is right for them so that they're just ready to buy. I don't want to have to do sales. I don't want to have to do any kind of high pressure, anything at all. I just want people coming to me saying, yeah, this is right for me. How do we get started? So you can find all of that on that link, which I will annotate the screen with right there, collab.prouty.me. So organic social, paid social is going to help with audience expansion. It's going to help me bond with that audience and then create some engagement. And then messaging like email and direct messaging, of course, is another component to the plan to bring this all to market. And that's simplicity at its finest. 3 trajectories, they all kind of work together. They're all small systems within systems. And that's how I'm going to bring it to market. So that is the plan for the next 6 months. I welcome any questions that you have on it. And if you would like to be considered for Force Acceleration or even Radius of Impact or Private Client, that's fine. Just head on up to collab.prouty.me or just Google my name and hit me up on any of the socials. Pretty responsive to direct messages. So there you have it. That's the plan for the next 6 months. Work on your plan for the next 6 months right away because time is ticking and it's not going to stop for you.